cheat day is because it can be for both. It can be a mental state and it can be a physical state.
Yeah.
Are cheat meals needed? I personally don't like to cheat, but I've seen Mike's videos talking about cheat meals. Are cheat meals needed? I personally don't like to cheat, but I've seen Mike's videos talking about cheat meals. Are they important?
Cheat meals, something that I call them refeeds. I don't call them cheat meals for me. I think refeeds, because just to kind of, for me as a person, I think it depends. I'm not a massive fan of eating massive quantities of of like a burger or something. I think I had a burger once or twice whilst during my prep, and I think I had some fries and I had a pizza once or twice as well. So I think I call them refeeds. Are they needed? I think, yeah, just to kind of spike the metabolism again. What would you say? How would you answer that question?
So a cheat meal is an emotional escape.
Yeah.
And so those are necessary if you are celebrating or you accomplish something, you want to show and you want to have something. That's a cheat meal. You're enjoying the celebration of your goal. Let's say a lot of you are not getting on stage, so you want to diet for a month. And so a cheat day is, because it can be for both. It can be a mental state and it can be a physical state.
Yeah.
And so the cheat meal is that. But a high day, like I have on the Blitz, is a necessary thing to spike the metabolism and get it going and keeping it up. And so when we diet down, a lot of ways to diet down are like high lows.
Yeah.
3 days low, 1 day high. And so on those high days, you're taking in more calories, and it feels like a cheat day or a high day. So it's spiking the metabolism. So
yeah,
are they necessary? Well, it sounds like for you, no. It sounds like for you, you don't need the emotional celebration, your friend's birthday or whatever, or a celebration for yourself. So you don't need that. And then the only other thing would be a high day. So if you're always in a deficit, make sure that you're not getting smaller and softer, because you don't want to put in a high day.
Yeah, I think what Mike has just said is completely correct there. When it comes to having a high day, I think it's really good to have a high day within your nutrition plan. If you can have a high day, I love calorie cycling, because for me, it gives you something to look forward to the following day. You'd be like, "Wow, I got 400 grams of carbs tomorrow. Oh my God." It's like you don't know what to do with yourself. I can have rice cakes. I can have more rice. So if you don't like cheat meals and you don't have a coach, don't have them, personally. Because if you don't need that emotional sort of relief from dieting and be like, "Oh, I've got a burger in my hand," or you're going out with friends for dinner, or, "Oh, I can actually go out with my friends for dinner." I remember when I first started preparing for competition, I used to almost do my competition in isolation, and it was so boring and sad. But as I got better at competing, as I got better with my knowledge, I used to carry my food everywhere with me, everywhere I went with my food bag. As I got better and better and better, I just be more relaxed. If I know if I'm going to be out for a couple of hours, I might take one meal with me. That'll be it. One meal with me in the car. I got my water with me, and I'd have maybe some nuts for some snacks, and some blueberries in the zip bag. So something that I've got with me that I can eat. And if I don't have anything with me, I can stop off a supermarket and buy some, basic salad in a box, track it, scan it, buy some ready cooked chicken, scan it, throw it in there, buy a lemon, cut it in half, squeeze it on top, and just get some nuts or fat, throw some nuts on top, and just eat it.
I realized
it's so easy.
Yeah, I've been here in the States for quite a long time, but I still have my accent. So I've been here for 30 years. So I've seen a lot of kids growing up here, and I realized that they don't appreciate food because they have access, and they eat whatever they want, when they want, all day long. So
it's the reason why she's saying this.
Yeah, I grew up differently, and it took something to remind me that food needs to be appreciated. And that was the 30-day
What was
30-day
that?
blitz.
Yeah.
The 30-day blitz, because when I grew up, we didn't have that type of.
Let me explain this to them. So on the 30-day blitz is something I created years ago for those impatient people that want to get in shape very quickly. And what we did was I calculated out a protein intake with a low carbohydrate intake and a very aggressive training plan during the week to set you up into a deficit to get you moving quite well. But it also gave you a celebration every Sunday to have a good amount of food so the husbands and wives and kids could go out and enjoy and they could have a good day. And this is the first time when I was doing the study on this, and we did this for a test. And it was very exciting and very fun, mostly having Heath Evans living here.
Yeah.
We were doing it together.
He actually does have a fast metabolism.
Yeah.
But we would enjoy our Sundays together and have fun together. And it was a very celebration and appreciated food.
It was appreciated. The Sunday food was appreciated. Not we, but Heath and I would go and do the shopping.
Yeah.
But the three of us would start making a shopping list.
Jesus Christ.
Starting like Tuesday.
Jesus Christ.
So we
It
had
was.
like a message, a trend message that literally like Mike would be like, this is what I want to eat. I want to have like it
was silly
the
stuff.
funniest silly stuff.
But it was such a
Yeah.
fun journey to do with such different physiques, different metabolisms, different ages, different sizes, and everybody got in shape and everybody did celebrations. And I know that a lot of you Titan Crew members, like Jeremy and his wife, still do this and celebrate with their kids and have fun on Sunday. And so this goes back to, for the guy here, you don't need those kind of celebrations. You don't want it. You don't want to hang out with friends and do that kind of stuff. Don't do it. But if you want to do it, you can easily incorporate that into a meal plan to where you do have fun like we did.
Right.
And at times do that if it's fun for you.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people just don't. They feel like everybody else is having a cheat meal, so they need a cheat meal. They don't really know what it's doing to their body. They don't really know how it's spiking the metabolism, what it's actually doing. You know, you might not need a refeed. You might be on a straight and narrow, but your deficit that you're in isn't making you look flat.
You know where you definitely don't need it?
What's that?
If you're in a surplus of calories.
Oh, of course not.
If you're in a surplus of calories,
You don't need a
there's
cheat
no
meal
point
if
in
you're in a
eating.
surplus. You know, you're in a calorie surplus. What do you need a cheat meal for? You've been cheating all your life.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I
Cheating all your
know. I
life.
appreciate that
You know what I
question.
mean?
I want to say a big shout out to Scott. Hey, man.
Scotty,
Thank you. Continue to do what you do, my friend. We love you in the Titan Crew.
yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, a lot of love, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what it's all about, guys. It's all about spreading love. It's all about love for me. It's not
What do you got
none
there?
of these negativity.
Look at Lucas, snow bunnies.
Snow buddies.
Oh,
Lucas,
Lucas, you got any snow
Lucas.
bunnies?
you know what's up.
You know what's up, Lucas. You got any snow bunnies hopping around?
How's your legs, my friend?
Yeah, snow bunnies, man. Snow bunnies.
But I would say 30-day blitz is a hard plan. It's only 30 days, but I feel like the 8th day is when everybody gives up on that actual plan.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, it's hard to do.
Oh, wow.
And you have to be mentally strong because you don't feel like you're seeing for how
Results.
you eat and for how you train and what type of cardio you do. You don't feel like you see the results.
There's a lot
right
to it.
away.
I incorporated in such, you have so many options you can do. And if you use everything at the last moment,
Yeah.
then those kind of things come into play. But I incorporated in fasting. I incorporated in 2 workouts a day. I incorporated this into them
Cardio.
where they were training very, very hard
Yeah.
to set them up to win in 30 days if you're getting ready for a wedding. And it's great. And this is what we're doing again. And we'll talk about it another time. But each time you do a prep for me, can I do it differently? Can I change it? Can I figure out a better way to do it or a different way to do it? And continue to learn as we continue this journey.
I think like it's all about you got to know your body type. What I mean, your body type is what is your body type? Are you an endomorph, ectomorph? You know, whatever body type you are. Well, how does it work under prep? You know, do you need to do this? Do you need to do more cardio? Do you need to do less cardio? You know, an example is you doing your 15-minute cardio, and I'm like, oh, I've never seen that before. I'm like, you can do 15 minutes. You do your 15 minutes and you rest. You'll have a meal. You chill out for a bit, and you'll be like, okay, half an hour, 45 minutes later, you've done another 15 minutes. Then half an hour, 45 minutes later, you do another 15 minutes. So throughout the day, you're doing like 45 minutes or 30 minutes. I don't know exactly what you're doing at the moment, but that's what it seems like. And I'm wondering how effective that is. So how effective is that for you right now?
3 days in, it's not very effective.
Well,
13 weeks. 13 weeks, we'll find
It
out.
just started.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's interesting.
Which
So
is fun.
It's very.
Which is
new.
fun to try to take a test. But instead of sitting down and just doing that test in 1 hour, seeing that test over 13 weeks.
yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, I'm very intrigued by the way you do things, and just being around you, you know, opens my eyes, and like I try and be like a sponge to absorb the information. And I always think, you know, how do you feel doing certain things? And props to you for trying, because when I mean props to you for trying is I would not risk implementing something new like that if I had
Getting
to
ready for a show.
Yeah,
And I recommend that you would never do that.
Yeah.
And when I was getting ready for shows,
yeah,
I never implemented that in.
yeah,
I stayed so basic.
yeah. Basic as hell.
And what worked. But when I got to do, you know what, where it really changed for me is when I had to visually look like I'm getting on stage, but also have to fight 6 guys.
Yeah,
So how can I look good, but also go on to Battle Dome and fight? Because you're not, well, you're normally kind of tired and not as
You're
strong,
drained,
and
yeah,
you're
you drain
drained
your
when you look like
energy,
that.
yeah.
So how can I do this now and still be able to compete against Division I athletes?
yeah,
And so that's when the changes started coming into play to going, well, I can't do this just like a bodybuilder.
Right.
And I can't be just a power lifter, because then visually I'm not going to look it. So I can't be just the strongest I've ever been. TV wants you to look good, but I can't just be as pretty as winning the universe. So where is it? And so I think that's where I just adapted, and also love the process of trying to do this more than just the one.
I love that answer. And you know, I was going.
Because you're going to do this now.
Yeah.
You know that.
Of course.
You're 43.
Yeah, of course I'm going to do this without a shadow of a doubt. But I was going upstairs thinking today, like, what's next for me? Like, I was literally thinking, what's next? Because, you know, I love training. I love, obviously, the nutrition aspects of things. I love my food. What's next for me? And I look at you and I look at the motivation you have every single day. And I feel like, where do you get your inspiration,
From me.
discipline, dedication, all of that, from on a serious note?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not getting ready to step back on stage, but yet you're training like you're getting ready to step back on stage. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're getting the way you are as disciplined. I watch you every day. I watch what you eat every day. I watch the way you rest and recover every day. I watch the way you train every day. Where do you get that sort of discipline, dedication, hunger from?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think I need time to answer that. But it just seems like everything for when we were doing shows.
Yeah.
You were just doing a show. You were so motivated, right?
Of course.
There's going to be something in you that changes.
Yeah.
Maybe when Snow Bunny gives the little Wally Jr.
Yeah. Any snowbunnies out there?
Or when Wally's getting ready to go on stage to lecture,
Yeah.
you know, at TED Talk. How did this cat come such a success? You know, and those things are going to be at some point in your life bigger than the universe trophy, bigger than the world trophy, bigger than those things. You're going to think, wow, I was so excited to do this, but now it's me by myself on stage. You know, it's just you on TED Talk talking about health and fitness and how you've accomplished this, and how, listen, I already know you're going to be this. Like Clark was here the other day talking about how he wants to be like Robbie Robinson at 70 and 80. I already know in 10 years, when you're in your early 50s, you're going to look the exact same.
Yeah.
It's going to be just you again, but it's going to be a different title. It's going to be you against the world saying, no, I can look like this into my 60s, 70s and be that fun.